Couple last ones before we let you go. Niners traded for Zane Gonzalez.
Uh-huh.
Listening a little bit earlier to an interview with Dave Lombardi, he seems to suggest that Robbie Gould is still very much in the picture. Gould was 29 for 29 in the postseason. Um, but obviously, when they look at the money they spent for Hargrave, you're going to have to be, very cost efficient in other spots.
Correct.
And they didn't give any guaranteed money to Zane Gonzalez. He does have a strong leg. He's not as consistent as Robbie if you look at the numbers. He'll be better on kickoffs. Um, and basically they got Zane Gonzalez for a conditional swap of 2025 NFL draft late round pick. So in other words, it sounds like there's several conditions that have to be met before that would even go through as a trade. He's suggesting that maybe the Niners are playing super hardball in negotiations like they did last time around with Robbie Gould, and that they want Gold back, but they just want him back at their price. And he's out there, and maybe the fact that it's still March and he's out there, there's not a lot of teams looking for a kicker. He's over 40. Maybe they can get him more at their price as we get closer to the season. So Zane Gonzalez may be the Niner kicker next year, but this bye Robbie Gould, Zane's here, new era. We sounds like we might want to pump the brakes on that.
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw Dave talking about that, and it's kind of like they're dangling the carrot in front of Robbie Gould and saying, "Hey, look, we got a kicker. Why don't you come back?" It's kind of like, "Hey, man, we still want you, but we can move on if you don't want to be with us." So it's a weird situation. I don't know. I think that Robbie Gould's time with the 49ers will come to an end when it's all said and done. I think the 49ers are going to be in draft mode when it comes to kicker. Like you said, they need to cut some corners in terms of cost. And to me, that just screams they're going to bring in a rookie, get a draft kicker. I think Jake Moody's still not out of the picture, probably the top kicker in college. But, Zane Gonzalez, when he was coming out of college, he was actually the top rated kicker coming out. So he had
Wow.
some talent. He had a lot of, there's a lot of, if you read him up, if you Google him up, if you search his history, he was like the NCAA Division I leader in kicks and field goals. Like he was a guy. He was something big time. Arizona State guy. Like there was a lot of build up around this guy, coming into the draft. I think that people were saying he was like he's Jake Moody before Jake Moody. Like this was a guy coming into the league. But unfortunately, he came to the Browns. It was just mentally he had some bad games here and there. There was a game where he missed like 4 field goals. So yeah, he didn't start off on the right foot. No pun intended. He went into Arizona, started to get a little better. He had some big moments. He had some bad moments, but his last year in the league, 2021, he was 20 out of 22. So he kind of started turning things around. I think he's 91 out of 113 career field goal history. So it's solid 80%. Obviously, he doesn't have the career of Robbie Gould, playoffs especially, but he's a guy with some talent. He can kick. He can make kickoffs. He has a 64 percentage in kickoffs, for touchback rate. So it's decent. Obviously, you can replace Mitch Wishnowsky, so he doesn't have to do kickoffs and punts. Save his leg for those punts. So it's a guy that can at least come in and compete. He has some talent. Injury history, obviously, with the quad. He had to miss last year because he messed up his quad in warmups. But he's a guy that I think that could come in and at least compete with the rookie. And that's the route I think they go. I don't know if they'll bring back Robbie. I mean, I'd be shook if they did because I feel like they've kind of walked away from that. And in my eyes, I feel like Robbie's kind of been trying to go, away from that. Like I think he wants to play closer to home. But hey, you never know. Crazier things have happened. But in my eyes, if I see this thing playing out in about a month or so, I think the 49ers draft or get an undrafted kicker and have a kicker competition. That's going to be the competition of the training camp, kicker competition. That's
Brad
my that's what I
Brad
think.
Graham suggested the other day that Chad Ryland, who followed him on in some social media area, the Maryland kicker,
Mm-hmm.
could be their future kicker.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. He's probably going to be an undrafted free agent. So that will be something to watch for. Do they bring in a kicker to compete? And then do they bring back Robbie? I mean, that's going to be interesting as well. And are they playing super hardball? It sounds like it, but we'll see. We shall
Yeah.
see.